The year was 2743. Humanity had spread far and wide, from the planets circling the red dwarf stars of the Alpha Centauri system to the stormy orbits of worlds on the galactic frontier. But with every step forward, humanity encountered beings who questioned their place in the galaxy. Some alien races were curious, others resentful, and a few, like the Gralesh Collective, saw humanity as a threat. The Gralesh were a cold, calculating race, biologically engineered to seek order and assimilation. They viewed emotions as distractions, individuality as a weakness, and free will as a hindrance to progress. For them, humanity's spirit was the very thing that made them unique was both fascinating and intolerable. They resolved to bring humanity under their control, convinced that they could strip away the chaos and replace it with order. Their campaign began subtly. The Gralesh extended offers of peace, technology, and mutual progress, implanting Gralesh advisors on human worlds to share their wisdom. But with time, it became clear that their influence was anything but benign. They infiltrated human governments, subtly manipulating decisions, working to erode humanity's sense of self. Humanity resisted at first, but the Gralesh had vast resources and influence, and slowly, they began wearing down the resolve of even the strongest human leaders. World by world, colony by colony, humanity's sovereignty seemed to slip away, not by force but by manipulation, as leaders embraced the Gralesh vision of peaceful integration. But there was one place they couldn't touch. Deep in the outskirts of human space was an asteroid base known as the Forge, a rugged outpost populated by miners, scientists, and ex-military personnel. Its leader, a retired general named Arya Chen, had a reputation for being incorruptible. When the Gralesh arrived, with their usual overtures of technology and harmony, she met them with a steely gaze and a wordless stare. "Humanity," she declared, "doesn't surrender what makes it human." The message was heard across the system. The Forge became a symbol of resistance, a reminder of what was at stake. People began to rally around the outpost. From the core worlds to the edges of colonized space, they transmitted messages, stories, and memories of Earth, reminding each other of humanity's history, culture, and resilience. Slowly, sparks of resistance ignited across the galaxy. Families and communities remembered the stories of old Earth, the triumphs and struggles that defined them, and the legacy they carried within. The Gralesh, observing this resurgence, issued an ultimatum: submit fully to assimilation or be forcibly converted. They sent their largest fleet to the Forge, intent on making an example of the humans who refused their control. But humanity was ready. As the Gralesh armada approached, ships from across human space converged on the Forge. Every vessel that could fight joined the fleet, from battle-worn cruisers to retrofitted mining vessels, each manned by volunteers. Arya Chen stood on the bridge of her flagship, broadcasting a message to every human listening across the galaxy. "We are human," she declared. "We choose freedom, courage, and the right to be ourselves. And if that makes us chaotic, if that makes us unpredictable, then so be it. They can try to take it, but they'll find that our spirit isn't for sale." The ensuing battle was fierce. The Gralesh were formidable, their ships larger, faster, and more advanced, but the humans fought with a tenacity that no alien could match. They used unconventional tactics, leveraging their knowledge of asteroid fields, hacking Gralesh systems, and deploying makeshift weapons crafted in the Forge. It wasn't about the technology, it was about the unbreakable wall of people who refused to surrender. As the fight raged on, humanity's resolve spread like a beacon across the stars. Even colonies that had once considered assimilation rose up, launching strikes against Gralesh facilities, reclaiming their independence, and throwing off their influence. Humanity's spirit was contagious, a defiance that no species, no army, could quench. The Gralesh retreated in disbelief. They had encountered a force they couldn't comprehend. The human spirit, fueled not by hatred or anger, but by an unyielding sense of self. In that moment, they realized that humanity's essence, its messiness, its creativity, its raw, untamed spirit was its greatest strength. When the last Gralesh ship fled, humanity stood victorious. Arya Chen looked out from the bridge of her ship, a fierce pride in her heart. They had not only defended a base or a territory, they had defended their very identity. And from that day on, the galaxy would remember, humanity's greatest weapon was not their technology or their numbers, but the enduring spirit that refused to be tamed. The Growlash were in shock as they retreated from the forge, their massive ships wounded, their ranks thinned, and their strategy of assimilation shattered by the defiance of the humans. Though humanity had claimed victory, the battle left scars, and many across the colonies understood that the fight for their identity had only begun. In the days following the battle, Arya Chen called for an assembly, a gathering of humanity's brightest minds and fiercest hearts, representatives from every colony and every walk of life. This assembly would take place in a place as indomitable as humanity's spirit, the Forge. Leaders, engineers, artists, and former soldiers arrived from every corner of human space. Some wore the uniforms of distant planetary militias, others the rough clothing of miners and mechanics, but each carried with them a shared purpose. They met in the Forge's vast central hall, the walls lined with metal reclaimed from downed Growlash ships. Arya stood at the podium, flanked by her loyal crew, her gaze firm as she addressed those gathered. "The Growlash came to conquer our souls," she began, her voice resonating through the hall. But what they didn't understand is that humanity's strength isn't found in uniformity. It's found in our differences, in the untamed spirit that has always driven us forward. A murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. They had fought side by side, but now they faced a different challenge, uniting in a way that allowed them to stay free and strong without compromising their individuality. To forge this alliance, they created the Pact of the Forge, a pledge between all human colonies to protect each other's autonomy, to offer aid when needed, and to share their knowledge and resources freely. The pact was more than a treaty. It was a promise to honor the essence of humanity that had repelled the Growlash. The symbol of the pact became a stylized forge and hammer, representing the strength and resilience of people who, when threatened, became a force as powerful as iron tempered in fire. Over time, the pact spread not only as a political alliance but as a philosophy. The forge became a hub of culture and innovation, drawing artists, scientists, and free thinkers who saw it as a bastion of human ideals. From this unity, humanity's technology flourished, driven by creativity and cooperation. They developed ships that were faster, weapons that were adaptable, and even means to shield their minds from the Growlash's influence. The Growlash, meanwhile, withdrew, confounded and fractured, yet they watched from the shadows, plotting ways to overcome humanity's defenses. They began modifying their biological and technological makeup, crafting new ships and devices designed to strip the mind of individuality entirely. But as they observed, they also began to wonder, for the first time, if perhaps there was something more to this human spirit they had tried so hard to crush. Back at the Forge, as the first Pact fleet launched from the asteroid's docking base, a fleet not of identical ships, but a colorful array of vessels, each unique yet united in purpose, Arya Chen watched with pride. The galaxy had learned something new that day, something fundamental and perhaps unbreakable. And as the stars shimmered around them, humanity stood ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, not as a scattered civilization, but as a united species bound by an unbreakable, shared will. As humanity began its journey under the Pact of the Forge, whispers of the victory over the Growlash spread like wildfire, reaching even the most distant and isolated human colonies. To many, the story felt like a legend, a tale of resilience, a beacon that reignited pride in what it meant to be human. It also resonated deeply with alien species who had long endured the Growlash's dominance, and who quietly celebrated humanity's triumph. Soon, delegates from these alien worlds arrived at the Forge. They were curious, cautious, and some even fearful of what humanity's defiance might bring. They came from a diversity of species, the peaceful Yarquin, whose tall, silver-skinned forms shimmered with intelligence and compassion, the fierce Yotax warriors, known for their complex honor codes, and the enigmatic Leister, energy-based beings who communicated through pulses of light. Arya Chen, now both a legend and a leader, welcomed them with an open hand. She stood as both a warrior and a diplomat, emphasizing that the pact was not only for humanity, but for all who sought freedom from the Growlash's influence. Together, they formed the Coalition of Free Worlds, a council representing all species who valued independence and the right to self-determination. However, forming the coalition was only the beginning. The Gralesh, though weakened, had not vanished, and they saw the coalition as an even greater threat than before. To counter the coalition, they began to send agents, blending in among human and alien populations, sowing seeds of distrust, hoping to weaken the fragile alliances that held the coalition together. One such agent, a cunning Gralesh named Zoral, was sent to the world of Eridani IV, a human alien colony that had recently joined the coalition. Zoral spread rumors of human betrayal, of secret human plots to dominate the coalition. The rumors stirred the mistrust that lingered among the coalition species, for although they had joined the pact, the scars of past conflicts and deep-rooted prejudices remained. The coalition's council grew tense, meetings devolving into arguments. In a desperate effort to salvage the trust they had built, Oria Chen and her team devised a risky plan. They would expose Zoral and other Gralesh agents, using a new device developed by the Forge scientists, a neural resonance scanner that could identify the unique Gralesh brain patterns, undetectable by any other known technology. Oria led the mission herself, arriving on Eridani IV with her crew. The atmosphere was tense, with coalition representatives from various species watching skeptically. Many had already heard Zoral's rumors and feared that humanity was attempting to consolidate its control over the coalition. Oria knew she had only one chance to prove humanity's sincerity. Under the watchful eyes of coalition representatives, the scanner was activated, and within moments, it revealed Zoral's true identity. He was unmasked before the gathered crowd, his Gralesh features flashing as his disguise flickered away, exposing him as a spy. The room erupted in shock and outrage, and Oria seized the moment. "Look at him," she declared. "The Gralesh do not fear humanity alone. They fear us together, united in our diversity, each bringing our strengths and wisdom. They fear the coalition because it embodies everything they cannot understand: a world of freedom, a world of choice." Zoral, bound and helpless, hissed in contempt. "You think you can stand against us? You are chaos, disunity, weak bonds of trust and emotion. We are order. We are inevitable." "Order isn't strength," Oria replied with quiet conviction. "True strength comes from choice and the will to stand beside others, even when it's difficult. That is something you will never understand." With Zoral's exposure, a renewed sense of solidarity swept through the coalition. Skepticism faded, and the council reconvened with a deeper understanding of the threats they faced and the strength they held in unity. The incident on Eridani IV led to a new security network, a web of coalition outposts and communication relays that would serve as an early warning system against Gralesh infiltration. As the coalition grew, so did its influence. New species joined, each bringing their own unique skills, cultures, and technologies. Humanity, once isolated, found itself at the heart of an interstellar alliance where knowledge, stories, and traditions intermingled. Scientists from different worlds collaborated to create new weapons, shields, and healing technologies, forming a diverse but focused resistance against the Gralesh. Years passed, and the coalition's unity became legendary. The Gralesh, who had once believed themselves invincible, found themselves cornered, unable to dismantle the coalition through espionage or subterfuge. In one final attempt to assert their dominance, they mobilized their remaining fleets and launched a full-scale invasion of coalition space. But this time, the coalition was prepared. The combined fleets of humanity, the Yarquin, the Yotax, and Dowscenes of other species met the Gralesh armada in a colossal battle above the twin moons of Arixis -9. The coalition ships, each a reflection of their unique cultures, wove between the Gralesh vessels in perfect synergy, using tactics that blended human unpredictability, Yarquin precision, and Yotax resilience. The battle was fierce and devastating, with countless lives lost on both sides, but the coalition's spirit could not be broken. After days of relentless fighting, the Gralesh flagship was finally disabled, and their once unshakable fleet scattered, routed by the relentless force of the coalition. In the aftermath, the coalition held a remembrance ceremony on the Forge, honoring the lives lost and the unity they had fought to preserve. As Oria Chen stood once again before the assembled leaders, her voice rang out, not in triumph but in gratitude. "We have shown that the spirit of freedom cannot be extinguished, that our strength lies not in erasing our differences but in celebrating them. The galaxy will remember this day as the day we stood together as one and forged a future that no force can break. The galaxy indeed remembered. The coalition of free worlds became a beacon for species across the stars, and humanity, alongside its newfound allies, stood at the forefront of a new era where unity, resilience, and the indomitable spirit of diverse peoples held back the darkness and illuminated the vast unknown.